Hi, I'm Carolyn Ball. I'm an author, Claiming Your Self-Esteem, and a counselor. I've also taught nationally to professionals and in conferences. And I'm very excited to share with you about whole brain solutions, whole brain functioning. I've spent a lifetime in quest of what will really help people change, what will help people grow, what's going to make a difference in people's lives. How can we get away from drug-based solutions and offer people something that's very, very helpful that will create real change without being stressful in itself, without the process being stressful. Most people think of things according to the neural pathways that they've always used. And certainly if there's a certain kind of problem that you have to solve or a certain kind of issue that you're affected by, will tend to run these same old neural pathways over and over again. What the whole brain solutions do is to help you let go of the old, less effective or even traumatic neural pathways and start cutting new neural pathways that utilize much more of your brain, much more of the resources that you have in your brain than you normally use. So what I do with folks these days is to offer them something which I call whole brain solutions. But it's a combination of 4 different technologies. One is something that many people are familiar with, mindfulness. Being aware of what's going on inside of yourself, learning how to be aware of your own body, your own reaction, your own mind. What are your thoughts? The second one I call the reprogramming process. It comes out of the work of Albert Ellis originally, cognitive processes or cognitive therapy. It's basically understanding and recognizing that our thoughts create our reality. As we think, so it is. One time, Henry Ford said, if you think you'll succeed or if you think you won't succeed, either way, you're right. Something to that effect. And the truth is, we often don't realize that we're constantly creating our lives by what we think, what we believe. If we think we can do something, we generally find a way to do it. If we can't, if we think we can't, we generally have excuses and reasons why we can't. We see obstacles, we feel like we can't overcome them. If we say, I think I can, just like the little engine that thought he could, this approach to life and starting to recognize, not just saying affirmations, but really understanding that we create our lives from the thoughts that we have. So that's another element. But the 2 exciting things that got added to the mindfulness and the cognitive approaches, or positive thinking, some people like to say, but I like to call it truthful thinking. The technology that really expands on these is what I'm calling whole brain technologies or whole brain solutions. It comes out of 2 different forms of work. The first comes out of the work of Francine Shapiro, who invented EMDR, which is short for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. What she originally thought was that the REM sleep or eye movements that occur in REM sleep were how we healed. Later research indicated that the actual healing that was coming from the EMDR work was what they called bilateral stimulation, or something that stimulates the left brain and the right brain alternately, and therefore engages the whole brain in whatever processing is going on. So amazingly enough, the results of EMDR have been extremely effective in trauma situations, people with depression, anxiety, but it's particularly useful with people who've been abused, who've gone through wartime, and is being used more and more now for people that have gone through some of the weather traumas that we've had recently. But what is so amazing about EMDR is that by processing, we'll talk about the process, but by processing using this bilateral stimulation, or left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, we're engaging one side of the brain and then the other, gradually going back and forth while we think about a particular issue, and we start to be able to solve those things on our own. And what also occurs is that we start building up new and different neural pathways that are more efficient and more effective. The second comes out of the work of Robert Monroe, is something called binaural beat. Right now we have lots of people excited about different brain technologies. What's very interesting about binaural beat technology is, once again, it's your own brain doing the healing. When one tone is introduced to one side or one ear, another slightly different tone to the other ear, the brain of its own accord does something called binaural beat. The brain switches sides from right brain, left brain, right brain, left brain, and does something somewhat similar to what EMDR does. It stimulates both sides of the brain, activates, wakes up both sides of the brain, and allows you to look at any given challenge or problem solving or issue through use of your whole brain, or a greater portion of your brain than we normally do. So what I want to do is let you know about some of these things that I think are the most exciting stuff coming down the pipe today, and invite you to find out more about it by coming to my website, wholebrainsolutions.net, and really learn about this technology. Find out more about it. Find out how you can discover drug-free self-empowerment, drug-free healing, and ways to access your whole potential as a human being, to optimize your life and really live not only much more stress-free, but much happier and much, much more effectively in your life. Thank you for being with me today.